Well, we kick off this morning right here on Salam Media at 13 minutes past 8, and we talk with the President of the Islamic Medical Association of South Africa, IMASA, Dr. Faisal Suliman, and urging the boycott of teva products and Dis-chem Pharmacies. Dr. Faisal Suliman, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, Juma Mubarak, and welcome to the show.
Alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Juma Mubarak to you, Inayat, and of course, thanks for the opportunity.
Yes, Dr. Faisal, you may know what is been taking place in Gaza, and as we're heading towards 1 year of Israeli aggression, 1 year of this genocide, and now another precarious, a dangerous situation evolving out in Lebanon. And, we cannot stop. We need to continue because we see this Zionist entity acting with arrogance, with impunity, doing whatever it wants to again, and to the point of also rejecting a ceasefire plan. Now, looking at from an IMASA perspective as well, we need to continue on our side as well, and hence the call for a boycott of Dis-chem Pharmacies and teva products.
Yes, Inayat, absolutely. You know, just I suppose as a distraction, Golda Meir, I don't know the exact quote, but when that Zionist went into Masjid al-Aqsa, was it perhaps the 1960s, and burnt the memory of Salahuddin and defaced the Masjid al-Aqsa. She said something like, I thought the Arabs would be on our borders the next day, and when I saw that nothing happened, I knew we could get away with anything. And since 1948 till now, they've been getting away with it. And unfortunately, of course, we understand they will account for it in the year after. But since October 7th last year, they've been getting away with it. As we say, massacre of 45,000 people, and of course, we don't know how many unknown under a rebel, massacring children, bombing indiscriminately, etc., etc. And now, when those pages blew up, and then the walkie-talkies blew up, and there wasn't a single recrimination, no, they got away with it. Other than, I think, President Ramaphosa and others maybe speaking up at the UN, absolutely nothing happening in Israel. More arms being sent, more support being given in the media, etc. They've realized they can now go in and wipe out under this pretext of Hezbollah firing rockets into Israel. Go and, as you said, wipe out southern Lebanon with a ground invasion. And we must make no mistake, they have Indian troops, they have British and American troops helping them. These are not just, they have mercenaries helping them. They have Zionists from all over the country, including our own. And Christian Zionists, Indian Zionists, all assisting them. So coming back to them, what is it that we can do? Clearly, we need to up the activism. We need to up the prayers. We need to up the eventually donations towards humanitarian relief. But more importantly, we have to punish Israel or Israeli companies, Israeli products as much as we can. It's not okay. So I'm demonstrating. It's a jihad. It's the badr of our times, and we have to be answerable for it. Inayat, this is we will say, oh, I wish I was alive in the time of the Prophet ﷺ, and I was in Badr and I was in Uhud. Well, this is our Badr. This is our Uhud. And what are we doing? So as far as the IMA is concerned, teva is an Israeli, like Clover is an Israeli owned company. And there are alternatives. IMA has put together an extensive list of alternatives to teva. So what it means to a patient and to a healthcare professional is that you are not compromising patients' health. I can't think of any teva product that doesn't have an alternative. So whether you go to the pharmacy and you say this is a teva, you say, no, please substitute it with something else. When the doctor is writing up a prescription, you say, please, is there an alternative to teva? IMA will gladly make the teva list, the alternative list available. And therefore, we're saying, like Clover, please boycott all teva products. And then the next one you mentioned is Dis-chem. Yes, the CEO of Dis-chem, Salzman, has come out as a blatant raw Zionist. and therefore we believe, the position point has to be made like Cape Union Mart. Dis-chem should be on that list. Again, the alternative pharmacies, even for your chronic condition. If the medical aids are telling you to go to one of the chains, use clicks. Uh, let's make a point of not supporting this scam. Okay, down this, I need my medication. There's only a discount. If you can't make alternative arrangements, then yes, obviously one doesn't say compromise your health. But let us remember that the people in Gaza, I don't know anybody who watches those videos and sees the numbers can say, okay, I'm prepared to go through a little bit of discomfort and drive a little further away with the clicks, although the scam is closer to me. We have to instill a sense of activism in it. I mean, you do these interviews, you speak to these people. It must be heart-wrenching for you as well to hear all this, not just as in terms of doing an interview, but as a human being, as a Muslim, just a simple human being. And therefore, I say to people, even if the scam is right next to on your doorstep, make the effort. Allah will reward you to go a little further to another chemist. Let's make a point. We have to. I mean, in Adelaide, we must think about something. We have had these students that come from Gaza at UCT. Zionist Federation, SA Jewish Board of Deputies, as we know, have been sending money, young boys, whatever support has been necessary, unashamedly. They're happy to justify massacres. They're happy to support massacres and to give it religious justification and moral and economic justification and support. They couldn't swallow. I'm sure, I don't know, people know, they've gone to court to reverse the decision the city made to essentially that allows the students to come. That says, okay, you know what, we're going to cut our ties with Israeli universities. Even that, they can't swallow that there are students here, thanks to their support, have been bombed out, the universities destroyed, their lecturers and doctors killed, that are here just to become doctors. They can't swallow that and are gone to court. So that tells you how unashamed, how organized, how not sleeping the enemy is. And that is what it is now.
Yes,
so while we are sitting,
yes,
so
Dr.
I'm
Faisal.
saying if they can't swallow that and even want to reverse that so the students can't come study, what's the very least we can be doing?
Exactly, and I think the point that you make very, very clearly that this is our badr, this is our jihad, in that needs obviously to be fought on more fronts, and IMASA is just one of the initiatives, and I'm sure this message has filtered down to your memberships, to the doctors as well, as far as this particular matter with regard to the teva products and Dis-chem is concerned, and also at the same time, I'm looking at a note that's come through from Nazira Kesem talking about putting pressure on Cipla to discontinue their association with teva, because we've learned of Cipla Pharmaceuticals being the distributor of teva products in South Africa.
Yes, that is correct. They are the distributor. Cipla, as people may know, is it's an Indian company and they have divisions in South Africa. Healthcare Workers for Palestine, the head office of Cipla is in Cape Town, and a group of doctors from Healthcare Workers for Palestine are busy meeting with, I know they set up some meetings. I'm not honest, I'm not sure the results of those meetings, if they were held, but it's something to be followed up, and of course it's an ongoing thing to Cipla to drop the distribution. Clearly they would have had agreements that are in place until whatever. So they may not be able to take on the existing agreement, but like we try to say to SABC, try and take feeds from other news sources other than BBC and CNN, etc. And we've been told, yes, but we've got existing agreements, and we try and say, well, when those agreements are over, look at alternatives. But similarly here, that Palestine is busy working on engaging Cipla to stop distributing teva products.
Yes, Dr. Faisal, we're going to put you on hold.
One point just 1 point. As we said, obviously there's the IMA, we're educating and opportunities like this to educate healthcare workers, pharmacies, and doctors in particular. But the piece also has to come from patients. You quite entitled, because there's a comprehensive list of alternatives to say to say, I'd like a non-teva alternative, and and there's plenty of those. And we, like I say, I may will gladly contact details on our website for the offers. WhatsApp you the full teva alternative list.
Dr. Faisal, we're going to put you on hold. I'm going for an ad break. And just to take off that IMASA hat, your SEMNET hat as well, because I think another important issue is we know that this battle is fought on various fronts. And the media, we've seen it when Yumna Said was here in South Africa as well, the whole question about narratives as well, and also the focus on local media and how local media is pushing out this narrative of this genocide, and also the latest with regard to Lebanon and Hezbollah in particulars. But we'll cover that immediately after this air break.
Ah, the kitchen, the heart of the home, where memories are made and celebrated. Our go-to place for those freshly stacked pancakes early in the morning or for that late-night snack munchies. We are in there together, cooking, eating and celebrating life together. Let's keep the kitchen a place that is shared by everyone, where we build stronger bonds and grow together. Sunfoil, now we cooking. Visit nowwecooking.co.za for recipes that everyone can help make.
Are you ready to ignite a wave of compassion and make a lasting impact? This Rabi'ul Awal, let's come together for something truly meaningful. Join Penny Appeal South Africa's Rabi'ul Awal campaign. Build a water well, provide a hot meal, sponsor a food garden, or plant an olive tree in Palestine or fruit tree in South Africa. Make a difference today. Visit our website www.pennyappeal.org.za or call 031 1100 573. Your giving, their dawn of hope.
You know, it's a wonder how kids get anything done these days. With all the distractions, when do they even get time to study? As a mother, all I can really do is make sure they have all they need to perform at their best. That's why I choose to include Sunfoil, triple refined pure sunflower oil with every meal I make. Naturally cholesterol-free and approved by the Heart and Stroke Foundation as part of a balanced eating plan. So whether I'm cooking, frying or baking, I know every dish will be a wholesome one. Sunfoil, now we're cooking.
One child, one dream.
A journey with Africa Muslims Agency that began 3 years ago has changed the lives of Syrian and Palestinian refugee children beyond their dreams. Help them to continue their education by sponsoring a student at the Amman School of Excellence in Lebanon for 25,200 Rand per year. Education at Amman can provide a brighter future for refugee families.
AMA, empowering, educating, inspiring.
Discover the Africa of your dreams and surround yourself with her spectacular beauty. Relax beneath her serene sunsets and explore wildlife at its natural best. It's where the pride of Africa comes together. The Kwantu Private Game Reserve. Get to know the Big Five or cruise on an elephant safari game drive. Interact with lion and tiger cubs and enjoy world-class halal cuisine while we pamper you during your 5-star stay. Indulge in the true African experience. For reservations, call now on 042-203-1400 or visit kwantu.co.za. The Kwantu Private Game Reserve, the place of gathering.
Connect and stay ahead with Salam Media. This is Salam Media, coming to you live from South Africa.
Well, the time is just gone 8:27 as we continue our discussion this morning with the President of the Islamic Medical Association of South Africa, Dr. Faisal Suliman. We have been talking about the IMA urging the boycott of teva products and Dis-chem Pharmacies, and also at the same time looking at this Badr, as Dr. Faisal Suliman talks about our Badr, and this is a Badr of our time where we need to step up and we need to do whatever we can that's within our capacity. And one, obviously, is the whole question surrounding BDS and boycotting Israel products, but also this is a war that is, or this is an aggression that is actually fought on many, many fronts, apart from just what is taking place militarily out in Gaza and also in Lebanon, but also in the media and the whole question surrounding the media and how the media has been reporting, how the media has been viewing what is taking place in Gaza and in Lebanon. And we've seen the type of language that is being used. We've seen the type of description of organizations like Hamas and also Hezbollah as well, where we've seen SABC in their bulletins talking about the Iranian-backed military group or Iranian-backed militia or something similar. And this is where Semnet has now taken this matter up with the Broadcasting Complaints Commission of South Africa. A letter has been written expressing these concerns surrounding our national broadcaster, SABC News, and also in terms of how they have been describing Hezbollah. Dr. Faisal, let's talk about this letter that has gone to the BCCSA.
I'll put on a different cap now. Pick off the theatre clothes and put on that hat. Yeah, so clearly, absolutely, it's down to narratives, and one has to ask oneself, why would SABC, and this is not by accident, you see, as you and I both know, this is because of lobbying, this is because of pressure, this is because the Zionists, as I said previously, are busy. They're the busy bees, plotting, scheming. So basically, for those who haven't heard, whenever CBC reports on Hezbollah, which of course in the past 2 weeks has been a bit more, it always uses the adjective from equal to Iranian-backed militant group. Now, what we said to SABC is why the preamble. This is not about Sunni Shia, Hezbollah, of course, strongly backed by Iran, etc. The connotation of those, that's two things. So when it says that, immediately for someone listening to say, oh, well, that means it must be something wrong with it, Iranian backed. So it's a derogatory slant on Iran, and it is a derogatory slant on Hezbollah. By SAPC already in its news, the way you don't have any other militia described this way, especially when it's pro-Western. We've seen all over Africa militia supported by the United States, coups supported by the United States, etc., or one of the other colonialists, France, UK, Belgium, etc., all those colonial powers from the past and present. So the connotation, you see, what it does, as we know, when you see how the Native Americans or Indian Americans were described negatively, black people during the entire apartheid colonial period in our country, etc., is that in your mind's eye, so there is something wrong with this country, there is something wrong with this group, and therefore if Israel is striking them, it's okay. It's small differences that, hang on there. It is the type of small differences that make it acceptable for an imam in the United States to be wrongly executed. Because in the mind's eye, you have this message that, he's black, he's Muslim, there must be something wrong with him. He doesn't deserve the equal rights or the equal access to the law, etc. And therefore it's justifiable. You combine that, it's not just the news, combine it with TV, with books, with narratives, with comics, with those PlayStation games, where, those war games, it's always the Muslims that are the terrorists being killed in these little video games, PlayStation, etc. So put it all together is why people can accept 45,000 people massacred in Gaza and not feel too much, wow. So that is why we've written to the Broadcasting Complaints Commission. We're not going to defeat the Zionists in one day. It has to be, as they say, death by 1,000 cuts, little cut. And wherever we can, apply those little cuts, a boycott, ensuring a proper narrative, taking on, like this in this case where we've done, taking on SABC, we have to do it. Individual capacities, mean, it's on the topic, but the same thing now in the people in Gauteng. The Khalid Drive, Stanton City renamed to Leila Khalid Drive. There's an email, there's a website. I mean, an email address you can send your support. I think the cutoff date is very soon. Copy and paste and submit it. All of these things make a difference. And it is, a little cut in the Zionist machinery. It's going to take 5,000 cuts, but, you have to start with each one. And same thing, I would urge people to send an email supporting the renaming of Stanton Drive to Leila Khalid. Whether it succeeds or not is not the point. Sending messages to the presidency. How many presidents stood up in the UN and condemned Israel? Our president did it. Our, Ronald Lamola, our Minister of Justice, Foreign Affairs rather, has done it. We need to be on Twitter, on social media, expressing us what. Make no mistake, President, Minister of Foreign Affairs have been hammered. Our ambassador in the UN will have been hammered by the Zionist lobby, the Americans, by the British behind the scenes. Let us show them support on social media, on Twitter, on letters. No, they must know they have the support of South Africans. And therefore I would urge you, even though senators complain, people should complain to the SABC. Why do you need to say Iranian-backed militia group? Just say Hamas. Say Hamas. Say South Africa recognizes Iran. We have no problem with Iran as far as diplomatic state relations go. So why should the SABC, which belongs to the government, is a state broadcaster, be using a negative derogatory language to say Iranian-backed militant group? That is unacceptable. I think it contradicts, as you will know, the broadcaster, the BCCA code of conduct in terms of fair reporting. And inshallah, the BCCA will take this up properly.
Well, we're looking forward to the response from the BCCA SA to SEMNET and your representation that you have made, Dr. Faisal. I know you and I could go on for much longer, but time is of the essence. We've got Beirut-based correspondent Nada Atella, who is already on standby, and we will obviously be looking at that immediately after the break. But for now, Jazakallah, as always, Dr. Faisal Suliman, for your time with us right here on Salam Media. We will follow developments, but all the best to you. Have yourself a wonderful Jummah, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Always a pleasure, and thank you so much.
Dr. Faisal Suliman with us, wearing two hats this morning, SEMNET and Islamic Medical Association of South Africa. A quick break. Next up, Nada Atella, Beirut-based correspondent.